Now, I mean, I'll let y'all be the judge of it, right? And we all got some other good stuff coming out of it. And let me kind of give y'all like why this is such a why this is so important for Davion Mitchell. Now, Davion Mitchell, guard, I think he was out of Baylor. He was drafted to Sacramento. You know, went to Miami. I think he a perfect fit for what they do in Miami. And he pretty much is somebody they're gonna be relying on in Miami. He was an elite defender like his whole career. In college, he was elite. In the NBA, he's been elite. And I've said it before. Miami got four of the best individual defenders. They have the best four individual defenders in basketball. I don't care who you put in as fifth. They got the best individual starting five defensively. I mean, you look at Davion Mitchell, lockup. Giannis, good defender. He's about the worst defender they got. Andrew Wiggins, elite defender. Bam Adebayo, elite defender. Now, their whole thing is they need to find some scoring, okay? If they find some perimeter scoring, it's over with. But so this is the video they say he locking up Cade Cunningham, all right? So let's go. All right, playing music. I cut that off. So here we go. So this is the video. So, I mean, that's like a good shot. He just missed it. Y'all boy Ausar. He defending Ausar. This should be self-check. No disrespect. So, oh, that's good defense. Oop. Oh, that's good defense. But Cade still got to a spot, you know. So these couple highlights they talking about that, you know, he was locking Cade up. In the highlight, we don't know, but in general, he's one of the more elite. He's probably one of the more elite on the ball defenders in the NBA. I mean, you know, got crossed up. I mean, he did great recovery. And that's kind of, you know, the narrative that's pretty much going around is that, you know, oh, he locked them up, and you know, he locked them up, and in Miami, they need him to take a huge step. You know, I don't know why they just won't get you. They give you everything but the comments. So I'm trying to get to the comments. So you can. So for whatever reason, I was trying to get to the comments of that video, but let me see if I can get there. But there we go. So Cade was just playing around, locking up Cade. So Cade against Miami last year. So Davion Mitchell was in a starting lineup. He averaged 28, 9.7, 4.3 rebounds. He just missed some contested shots he normally makes. Not even going off this video. I'm generally not as moved as Cade on Cade as others. He's a winning player for sure, but turning over prone, he can be so inefficient. They kill me with this inefficient shit, bro. I just hate this shit. Oh, he's efficient. He's inefficient. You know, that shit kind of irritating to me, bro. When you the only offense in the starting five, what do you expect? Allen Iverson was the only motherfucking Philly that could score. Y'all be so, oh, he's so inefficient. And like, no, if it all comes down to me to score, I'm not going to be efficient. But this is the same generation that talk about efficiency, but live and die by the three ball. That the way they shoot threes in this era, that's not efficient. So it's so funny where they draw the efficient and the analytical gun line. It's always crazy to me, because then we'll be talking about how in general, almost in 95% of NBA teams, there's four wings out there and somewhat that look like a center. But then they tell you, oh, Ron Hollins can't play the power forward position because Apollo Barencho is too big. Okay, but you're switching everything. What does it fucking matter if you switching everything? What does it matter? And B, if Paolo don't play with his back to this basket as much as he should, it doesn't even matter. If he's going to dribble at the perimeter and take step backs and pull up jumpers, it doesn't. All Ron got to do is stay in front of him. That's it. It doesn't. Like I said before, they try to make these fluid arguments when they don't make sense. Oh, we are efficient basketball. We're efficiency. It's unethical. Okay, it's unethical to take 40 or 50 threes. And when in parts of in a lot of the seasons in the 80s, they averaged just as many points as y'all, and they took two threes a game per. Well, 4-3. They maybe took 4 threes a game between the two teams, and they averaged just as many points when they can hand check, when they can foul, when it wasn't no flex. So when you started to really dig into basketball, it's a lot of people who got microphones who really speaking on basketball, and they have no idea, bro. Because you can't speak on today's era in basketball and say, oh, it's the best, and you have no historical reference points. You can't historically reference anything. You didn't see anything. Because they allow y'all to travel today. Like everything that you see, even the Allen Iverson crossover that they banned, that's a carry. They travel up and down the court all day. You know what I mean? When you talking about travel, 3 steps, 4 steps to a layup, even when they crossing over, they palming, they carrying, they flat. Like I said before, it's not limitations. They're just changing the rules. They're literally changing them. When Allen Iverson rock Michael Jordan, go look at ESPN cover that after he rocked Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen, they said, well, they'll allow him to carry the ball so high per snitching, but per truth. A lot of the things they get away from today, they look at it today. They try to look at it from an analytical, ethical, efficient standpoint of view, but it doesn't make any sense when your game is inefficient, when you shoot 1,000 threes, when you don't have any fundamentals, when people, basic big fellas can't do a drop step, turn over their left shoulder and shoot a baby hook. The average guards can't dribble. And then when you look at it, you talking about usage rate. Who got a higher usage rate than Cade Cunningham? And it can't be too many, because in Oklahoma City Thunder, Shea can get that ball up to Jalen. You know what I'm saying? In New York, he can get that ball up to Cat. Cat might be one of the most talented players in basketball. You know what I'm saying? So even when you get Washington, Trey can give it up to AD or DeBasta, and they got a bunch of young, really good players over there. When you look at Cade and that starting lineup, who's the threat? Who's the other threat? I'm talking about last year. Who's really a threat? Who you trust to get the ball? Ausar can handle the ball, but guess what? When they don't respect your jumper, can you really facilitate? Everybody gonna stay home on their man. So how can you really facilitate? They daring you to shoot the ball. They daring you to attack the basket. You know what I mean? So it's funny when they had these blanket basketball debates, because they're not honest. It's just like, I'm gonna go ethical, I'm gonna go non-ethical, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go old school. It's basically whenever the narrative fits them, that's what they're gonna rock with. Whatever the narrative that fits them, that's what they're gonna rock with. The argument is just not set in stone. It's whatever they feel comfortable with. You know what I mean? So, so this is pretty much exciting. Give me a minute. So I think this is something that y'all want to see before we switch over to talking about Lions. I think this is something that a lot of y'all will love to see right here. So,
Ice up now. Shoot by yourself. That's what I say, man. Ice up now. Shoot by yourself. That's what I say, man.
And I think that's what y'all want to see. Y'all want to see Ausar Thompson. This is what you want to work on. Take the mid-range jumper. That's it. If he can do that, that'd be fine. If he can do that, that'd be fine. And that's what you want to see him working. How comfortable he was off the dribble, just how comfortable he is. And believe it or not, and some people will test to this and some people want to test to this. Believe it or not, probably shooting off the dribble is more easier than catching and shooting. If you can handle the ball like Ausar Thompson, when you do something off the dribble, it to me, and you can kind of tell me if it's not when you hooped, or if you hooped, or you don't believe this, or you believe it's not to be true or true. When you do something off the dribble, it seems like your shooting mechanics fall in place a lot more. It's more muscle memory when you shoot. Now, when you catch and shoot, I guess because you think like in a situation, you thinking about it. But when you do something off the dribble, or if you do it off the dribble, or you do a turnaround, jump shot, it just seems like your shooting mechanics fall into place a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It feel like your shooting mechanics fall into place in a lot better. So I think off the dribble is probably best for him right now, because look how he can just everything just fall into place. From the elbow to squaring up, to the feet, to the wrist. That's probably literally what's best for that brother. You know, and catching and shooting is a little bit different. You know, everybody think that's like the easiest thing to do, but once you catch and shoot, you still worry about mechanics. When you do something off the dribble, your mechanics just falling in place because you're not really thinking about it, because you're just doing it. When you catch and shoot, it's time to think. So, you know, it's good to see him doing something off the dribble, but to be honest with you, that'll help a lot. But in general, they're going to need him to catch and shoot. I think catching and shooting from the corner, catching and shooting from the wing, but also I think what comes after the catch and shoot for him, honestly, is the pump and drive. You know, pump and drive, the floater. I think all those things, because you got to understand when people start playing Ausar for the corner three, and he start knocking down the corner three. The next step is gonna be, now they're gonna try to run at you. Now you just pump and just take 2 or 3 steps in and shoot the jumper, or you attack the rim. But if he can hit that midi, I mean, that's what you really want. Because they sagging under the elbow on him, you know. So you really just thinking about a push shot, a floater, a midi, and then eventually you want the mechanics to go outside. So eventually it's nothing he really can't do but shoot and finish at the rim, you know. Shit, so let me play this again.
2-1.
My bad, slipping on my pen. Right.
Now, watch out. Stop. 2-1. Ice up down. Shoot by yourself. Yes, sir. Stay up, man.
Is that Boozer's son right there? I think that might be Boozer's son. Looks like one of them.
Ice up, boo. Ice up, boo. You got it. Good shot, boy. 1, 3. Opposite. We're gonna miss. Like that. That's a tough one. Shot. 4-3 shot, 4-3.
Hey, that's Boozer's son. That motherfucking getting a welcome to his NBA moment. You're not about to tell me that what Harden was doing was easier than Clay doing catch. Yeah, I mean, let me say this. If you watch James Harden, I'm glad you brought that up. If you watch James Harden in 3-point shooting contest, that motherfucker ass. That motherfucker ass. When they asked James Harden to sit at that rack and just shoot off the rack, he's a scorer. He's a rhythm scorer. But I think for him, what he's doing off the rhythm is better for him because it gets his shooting mechanics in order. You kind of see what I'm saying? It gets his shooting mechanics in order. Like when some people are better scorers than shooters. It depends on the player. Some people are better scorers than shooters. Kind of feel me? Kind of see what I'm saying? Because you got some people like Clay that's just great at catching and shooting. But then you got some people that's just better off the bounce. So it just really depends on the player. But I think for Ausar Thompson, he just might be one of those guys that maybe just better off the bounce. So it's not about what's easier, it's better what's best for the particular player. So for Clay, great catch and shoot guy. Say what you want to say, but if you put Harden in those same situations, he not a great catch and shoot guy. Now, if you let Harden get into rhythm scoring, then he probably can heat it up. But in general, for Clay's a better catch and shoot. Harden is better off the score. Watch Harden in 3-point shootout. He's more scorer than shooter. This is all it is. But I think for Ausar Thompson, he just may be more naturally a scorer than a shooter. That might be where his bacon is made at. That's just my observation. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just my observation. But we about to wrap this Piston shit up. So I'm gonna read some comments I missed while I was gone.